we are ready to find out what will be VTH. So VTH will be starting from point B, which is at negative polarity. The first voltage will be plus 10 volts because we are going from negative to positive terminal. Second will be drop across 2 ohm. The current through 2 ohm is Ix, so it will be Ix into 2. Ix is flowing in downward direction, we are traveling in upward direction, so the drop will be positive, so it's plus 2Ix. Next will be from positive to negative terminals of battery. It's a voltage source, so we simply consider voltage as minus 3 because I'm going from positive to negative side. There is no drop across the 3 ohm resistance. Afterwards we get again from positive to negative polarity, it will be minus 5. So that's my VTH. Because we reached to the point A, so we stop here. Let us substitute the value of Ix. Now, even though the drop was positive, the value of Ix is negative, so I'll consider that minus 0.5 into 2. This will be minus 8. 10 minus 8 is nothing but 2, and this 0.5 into 2 will be 1, and with a minus sign, VTH is equal to 1 volt. So that's my first step. We have got the value of VTH. Let us now proceed to find the value of RTH. So it was simple to find VTH, even though it looked like a big circuit, because we obtained Vx directly and hence the current through 2 ohm easily. I can also write VTH little differently. Instead of going through 10 volts and 2 ohm resistances, when I start from point B and travel up to point A, you can see that the total voltage across both these components is nothing but Vx, because Vx is the voltage at this node with respect to ground. This is the ground point. So I may not consider 10 volts and 2Ix separately. I can directly start from this point B and take a jump to node Vx and use the value of Vx directly. It will take care of the total voltage across both the components. So if I do that, then my VTH expression will also be, so if I start from point B up to this node, I would have collected voltage Vx. Next was from positive to negative polarity minus 3 and then minus 5. This will also give me exactly same expression. Vx was nothing but, as you can see, 9 volt minus 8. So VTH becomes 1 volt. So using either of the two, you get the value of VTH as 1 volt. Now we go to the next step in which we find out what is the value of RTH. So let's now proceed to step number 2. In step 2, we will find RTH. To find RTH, and as you can see in this case, I will once again consider the original circuit. RTH will be defined across the same two terminals A and B. The very first step you have to follow is replace all the sources. The voltage sources will be short circuited and the current sources must be open circuited. So the very first thing I can do is remove this 2 ampere current source and there will be open circuit in place of it. We will have to short the voltage sources. So this 9 volts will be shorted first. So let's short it with straight lines. It's a short circuit branch, 9 volts replaced. Remaining 2 voltage sources, which is of in fact 3 voltage sources, 10 volts, 3 volts and 5 volts, must also be replaced with short circuit. So let's do that one by one. So all the 4 voltage sources replaced. Now, the moment we replace the sources, you will have the circuit made up of only resistors. Use series parallel combination or star delta transformation and find out RTH. In this case, even though it's a big circuit, you can easily observe few important things. This 3 ohm resistance, you can see the other end is not going anywhere, not connected, so hence no current flows through this 3 ohm resistance. In simple words, it becomes redundant. It will not come into consideration of calculation of RTH. Next, 9 ohm and 3 ohm, both the resistors come across a short circuit. They are in parallel with a short circuit branch. From where this short circuit appeared, because we replaced the voltage source here, we had seen this before. Whenever there's a resistance in parallel with a short circuit branch, it cannot draw any current and hence 9 ohm and 3 ohm will also be redundant. Look at this 2 ohm resistance. It also is connected across the same 2 nodes which are short circuited, and hence this 2 ohm resistance like 3 and 9 ohm also becomes redundant. So basically all these resistors will be redundant. The only resistance that will play its role in finding RTH is this 3 ohm. So you can see that between node A and B, it's only 3 ohm that will remain. All these resistors are redundant. They will not have any effect on RTH. So I can directly write down RTH is equal to 3 ohm. And that takes me to step number 3. So let me do it here itself. Step 3 will be nothing but to draw final Thevenin's equivalent circuit. So the final circuit will have VTH and RTH in series across the same two terminals A and B. VTH we had obtained in step number 1 and it came out to be 1 volt. So we just put VTH of 1 volt here, and RTH we just now obtained of 3 ohm. So that's my complete Thevenin's equivalent between the two terminals A and B.